you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar.
Welcome to Scumbar Podcast, episode 78, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, books, Jango Fett, and everything in between. I am your host, Mattbrush. But can you recall the most famous Anth0z of all?
Anth0z of the Scumbar Podcast had a very shiny nose. Hi.
Hi-yo.
Also, does Jango
Hiya!
okay. Yeah, when you said Jango Fett, I was like, why did he sound like a robot? And it made me think like
I don't remember how he sounds, so Jango Fett.
He's human, so he doesn't.
Yeah, he's Australian or New Zealand, I think.
Yeah, he's
New Zealandish.
He's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi.
Yeah. Those Kiwis, they're good.
Mango. Mango's on my mind. The Mandalorian. That's on my mind right now. So.
Mango Fett.
Yeah. Anyways, that's why I wrote Jango Fett.
Cool.
If you're listening here on the Scumbar Podcast, be sure to check out our other sister podcast.
That other thing we do.
That other thing we do, that's the Marvel Movie Marathon right now, where we're going through 22 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's pretty fun. We like it, you know. I think you might like it too, so check it out.
It does things. We do things there. We talk about things.
And we do things.
But
fun. The most important thing going on right now in our lives is Christmas. It's right around the corner.
We're wearing a Christmas sweater.
We are. I've got a Santa Claus on who's golfing.
He's golfing, and you've got golf pant pattern Argyle along your sleeves. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so confused because I was looking at the snowflakes out on your sweater, and then there's one snowflake that looks like it has a hat, like it's got a white ball, but it's actually the fluff of Santa's hat.
You're right.
And
I see it. I got it. Yeah.
Interesting design.
Yeah.
It's a little
and you've also got a sweater on. It's actually a very famous mouse on your sweater.
Yeah.
A very, very famous mouse. I won't say which one, but I bet you can figure it out.
Yeah, it's Mighty. No, it's not.
Mighty Mouse.
Mr. Mighty Mouse. It's the good old Mixter. Also, right. I don't know if you're seeing it, but because my the top half of my sweater is red and white stripe, I think it's supposed to be candy cane. But when I'm seeing myself in this video, in my thumbnail, as I move, because it's stripes, it looks really distorted.
Oh, weird. Okay, that isn't actually happening on my screen, but I can see how if it was smaller, if I put my head back, I think it actually does do that. It looks a little strange.
Because, this is so weird. My sweater, the stripes are horizontal, but then when I look on screen, they turn into circles. I'm so
that's just the whatever it's called, the compressing, when it's compressing like that.
I see.
Yeah. Weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cool.
Anyways, so Anth0z, this Christmas 2020, a little bit different than normal. What do you got planned? What's going on at the Anth0z household?
So we're basically just trying to figure out a whole bunch of video calls with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's interesting because we have one friend who has a whole bunch already planned, and so he's doing virtual. I don't know how he's doing it. I think he said he's doing virtual Secret Santas.
Oh wow!
I didn't ask him how he's doing it, but. Maybe they're gonna secretly drop it off at people's houses and then run back home and then go on a video call or ship them, or I don't know. We'll find out. But
wow, that's cool. Very ambitious.
So I'm curious to know how it's gonna work because I suspect a lot of other people around the world obviously have to figure out new ways to get together, right? For us in BC, we're restricted to. So our restriction is now extended to January 8th, I think. Mm-hmm. And so you're only supposed to be with your core bubble / immediate household. So technically you're only supposed to be with people that you live with and that you're nearby all the time. But I think your core bubble, which I think they still use the term core to say that, if you have a couple people that you see regularly. So for example, I guess if you're one of those, if you have aging parents and you have to go see them and you help them frequently with chores or bringing the groceries and stuff like that, then I think that's still something that is okay. per se, but you still have to be mindful of like other people you see outside of that by accident. Like when you go to a grocery store, you're naturally going to bump into other people, right? So
right, for sure.
So yeah, like we want to plan that stuff with my family, my wife's family as well. Trying to figure out the best way to do it, but in the meantime, yeah, we're doing video calls with setting up video calls with our friends if it can happen. And yeah, it's been, right around this time, I'm usually stressing out trying to finish off my Christmas shopping. But luckily I finished most of it around Black Friday. I try to make that time the time to actually do all my shopping because everything's on sale. And then it also, if I need to get something shipped, then it should ship in time and stuff like that. So hasn't been as crazy. By this point, most of it is done, if not all of it is done now. So now I'm just getting settled into this new house. I can't remember, did we mention that I was in a new house last episode? I might not have.
I actually don't think... No, we never did.
I
we
don't
mentioned
think
you were
so.
about to move, but we never mentioned that you're now in the new place, new digs.
Well, it happened. I'm in a new dig. And it's nice, but it's cluttered with all of our stuff. And as we were moving, I was like, I can't figure out how we were able to fit all this stuff in an apartment, which now takes up the whole house.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to minimize everything. But anyway, enough about me. How about you? What are you doing for?
You got a lot going on. It's Christmas time. This is the time of sharing and caring.
Yeah.
For my Christmas, I'm actually a little bit behind on the Christmas shopping, which is funny because I was so early on it this year. I had such a good jump on it that it was a false sense of reality for me because I thought I was good, and then now that Christmas is currently 10 days away, to me, I was like, oh my gosh, there's still a few more things I have to go pick up. So luckily, I'm now on Christmas vacation for the next 3 days from work,
nice.
And because of that, tomorrow morning I'm heading to the mall, which is so bizarre to me, but I'm heading to the mall to go finish some, I think it's like 8 or 9 gifts I have to go get.
Oh wow.
And then after that, I pick up those ones, and then I'm done everyone on my list. Then I will come home and just do a gigantic wrapping session where I watch It's a Wonderful Life, and I watch It's a Wonderful Life, and then I usually watch American Christmas Carol or Muppets Christmas Carol. And,
do you always do that, like, while wrapping gifts?
Yeah, that's kind of my tradition. I just kind of like to watch them while wrapping gifts. I really like, because those are like my family movies that I watch, and my fiance doesn't really have much of an attachment to them. So for me, it reminds me of like my family and Christmas while I'm wrapping, which is fun.
Right. So. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, okay, so you're saying that you have this family attachment, but that your fiance doesn't feel the same with you. So that means like you're probably watching it yourself while you're wrapping the gifts?
Yeah, exactly. It's more personal to me when I'm watching it on my own, right? So because it doesn't mean much to her when she's watching it, but when I'm watching it, I'm getting all these, nostalgic memories. So
yeah. Well, okay. So then, if that's the case, like, what about eventually? You do have plans to have kids in the future, right?
Oh,
I think we have talked about this. So
for sure.
Then
big old litter of pups.
Big old litter. Oh, cool. All right. You're having. I didn't know you could have pups.
You can have multiple. You can have multiple.
You can have multiple pups. Cool.
Yep.
Great. Well, okay. So when you get to that point, when you have all your pups just wagging around at home, and you're gonna start your own family traditions, are you going to get them to watch the same movies that you have that attachment to, but your fiance doesn't? Well, I guess at the time, maybe wife. Hopefully wife at the time.
Yeah.
Or are you going to bring about, like, are you going to start new movie traditions together with them?
I think I would, yeah. I believe I probably... I have such a strong attachment to it now that I'm sure I would. The thing is that my fiance and I don't currently have, like, set movie nights like my family and I did.
Yeah.
And I think when we have more kids in the house, there'd be more of an excuse to have family nights. So when we're having those family nights, I think those would be the times when I'm introducing these films I want us as a family to be watching.
Yeah.
And so I definitely see that in the future. It's just at the moment right now, it almost feels like it's taking time away from my fiance and I to sit her down and be like, let's watch this.
Sit her down. Movie. You're going to sit down, you're going to watch this movie, and you're going to like it.
Well, I mean, when it comes to It's a Wonderful Life, it's a bit of an older film. I mean, it's usually in black and white. It's 4:3. It's not even super Christmassy, but it's for those memories I had when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So right now, it might not mean much to her, but if I'm doing it later when we're all a family together, it's a good family movie to watch. So I think she'd enjoy it.
Okay.
But we do have those with a few other films anyway, so that's fine too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. We will see what happens in the near future.
I won't force anything though. We'll have our own traditions as a family, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. And they're probably going to come natural too. Like your kids are going to pick movies.
For sure.
Oh, let's watch this movie. And yeah.
Yeah, I used to never watch Elf, which is hilarious because now I watch Elf every single year and I love it as a Christmas movie. But back in the day, I used to never watch it at all. So
Yeah, I didn't like that movie at first, but now it's kind of grown on me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally grown on me too, but I did not like it either. But it's very traditional now for me.
I think you have to be like, I think it's basically because of Will Ferrell, right? Like if you're into the way he portrays the character, because like, you know, they're obviously okay without this being an Elf movie episode. You know, they're the interactions between him and Zooey Deschanel's character, and then him and like his dad. So like there's so many things kind of happening back and forth, but it's all revolving around like what his character and like what kind of purpose Christmas has because of his character, and that kind of envelops like everything else in the movie. But also he's like this big boisterous like person.
Yeah.
So right, if you're into it, you can if you can stand it, then you'll like it. If not, then you might have a hard time watching it, right?
For sure. Yeah. And I think it was really standoffish for me at first, just because of that, the boisterousness that you're saying. But yeah, I think over time it really connected with me, so I got the movie and I liked it.
Yeah.
And again, now it's just traditional, so I enjoy it. So anyways, I'm going to do some wrapping and do all that tomorrow, and I'll get all that done, and I'll finally feel like how you feel right now. But unfortunately, right now, when someone says there's 10 days till Christmas, my mind is going like, and freaking out.
Well, you got vacation time, so you are good.
I will make do with those times. Yeah. The difference now for Christmas Day for me will be, as I think I mentioned before, my family likes to sing on Christmas, and we do a lot of like carols together and stuff. And unfortunately, won't be able to do that. But I just heard yesterday from my mom. She texted and said that we're going to be doing a Skype session or like a video call.
Yeah.
And apparently we're going to be, my uncle's still going to bring out the piano, and we're all going to sing carols together. So I was like, oh, wow.
Okay.
So I didn't realize we were doing that, but now I'm excited. So we're all going to still sing and have some fun together, which would be great.
Cool.
And it's almost become a tradition now. My brother and I sing, what's it, Little Drummer Boy by Bing Crosby and David Bowie.
Yeah.
I
don't think I know that version. What the?
Well, it's the Peace on Earth one that they sing, right? Bing's singing Little Drummer Boy and David Bowie's singing Peace on Earth. Peace on Earth,
right. Okay, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, and they do a little skit and stuff, so it's become a tradition now over the last couple of years. My brother and I reenact the skit and like have fun with it, and then we go into the song. It's because it's like a family movie that they used to watch. Anyways, so I have a feeling we're going to be doing that now over Skype and still having that whole skit and everything, so I think that'll be funny.
Nice. Okay, so speaking of Will Ferrell, so I searched up Bing Crosby.
him and what's
John
his
C.
face?
Reilly.
They did. It's weird because we didn't even know that existed, and then we were doing the same thing as our own joke, right?
Yeah.
And then I see them doing that exact same thing, right? It was like, oh my god.
Wow.
John C. Reilly plays Bing, and then Will Ferrell plays David Bowie. But that's exactly that kind of fun is what my brother and I always like to do at the family times.
Nice. That's good.
We also, last year we did Baby It's Cold Outside because that song became kind of controversial.
Oh,
so
yeah,
right. Dan and I decided to sing it.
Yeah.
And that was just fun.
Did you make up like different words, or you just sang it like the original?
No, we just sang it like it normally was. We just had a good time with it.
Yeah.
And also last year I sang Hallelujah, which isn't a Christmas song at all, but for some reason that now became like a thing. So now I'll probably do that one as well for this Christmas.
Like the Leonard Cohen one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
nice.
So that was just an interesting thing I just found out yesterday for our traditions, and I guess that's kind of what we're doing this year. So
I'm curious. Okay, let me know how that goes. I'm curious because, you know, like when it comes to video calls, like there's a lag time, right?
So I know, yeah.
I'm curious to know how that's going to go.
I just think we're probably not going to care very much about the lag time. We'll just make do with it, probably. Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me that they were able to sort... Oh, right, because I had a friend who, he said he had a jam session with somebody over like Skype or some sort of video call. I'm like, what? How did you do it? So one person was on piano, and the other one, my friend, he was on sax. Yeah. So basically he was saying that I think the keyboardist, the pianist, he was playing, I think he was just playing sustained notes, like chords, right? He's not playing like moving kind of lines. Like he's playing chords and then just giving the my friend like some time to just like play over it. And so that way they don't necessarily have to be in time together, like every beat.
Interesting.
So I guess like that kind of worked for them. But I also know that there have been singers who have done like live stream concerts where they're each streaming from their own home. Like they must be pre-recorded, I guess, but
I
I'm
don't
still-
know,
yeah.
but they sync up somehow. But I think also if you start singing a song with somebody, I think that you do eventually sync up with each other. Somebody has to just keep going full force, I think, and the other person syncs up with the other person, I think.
I think you have to sing, and then you have to mute your headphones so that you don't hear the other people singing.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Because
Yeah,
then you
that's
fall into
probably
like their
exactly what
timing.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
but,
cool.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but that's apparently what we're doing this year.
Nice.
And
It's
that's
nice that you can still try to keep up some stuff like that, right? In the midst of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point, I guess, is just, even though there's COVID and all this kind of stuff, we don't want to make it change our Christmases all that much. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And hopefully
Cool.
by next year, we are having a regular old Christmas.
Hopefully, vaccines come in, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens when that
See
comes
how the
out.
rules change, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, that's my Christmas traditions. You went over yours. Do you want to talk a little bit more about yours now, since I've been rambling on forever?
I guess now that my wife and I are in our own house, we're probably gonna start figuring out like what we want to do annually. We had planned a little while back, like maybe a few years ago, what was going to happen once we had actually gotten married and moved in together. That because we each have our own groups of families groups that we would meet up for different parts or different
Your
times.
5
within
Christmases thing, right?
It's basically because
Yeah.
like let's see, on the 24th is
Day of Christmas.
So the evening, like Christmas Eve, we usually meet up with my friends and like their family. So they're all Filipino and they celebrate the night before, because then when it's midnight of the 25th, it's also their Lola's birthday, like their grandma's birthday.
Right.
So yeah, we would start off on the 24th with them. 25th in the morning, I would go to one of my cousin's place for breakfast, and then dinner time I think would be with my family, like somewhere, either at my other cousins or maybe like we would host having some people over at our place. And
Right.
then after like Christmas night, after our dinner, I would meet up with all my friends at one of my other friends who hosted dinner, but then they would all meet up at their house. I'd meet up at their house after. And then yeah, so like that's all the stuff that happens on my end. But then my wife has pretty much like all the same timings, but with her family and her extension. So we had to put together the schedule of like rotating. But this year we can't really do that because it's kind of thrown everybody out of schedule.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're just basically trying to find out what time will work out for doing the video call with them. Otherwise, in terms of traditions, this is our first time that we have a tree together. So we put that up.
Nice.
We
It's
put
a fake tree, I'm assuming, right?
it's a fake tree, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, one that comes with lights already attached to it.
Oh, nice.
And we got some
Hassle-free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's nice, and it's like we put it together. As soon as you like stick them on, the leaves just kind of fall out. You just have to fan out the pine. We decorated with all the different kinds of balls. Christmas. What do you call them? Just Christmas
Baubles.
balls.
Christmas baubles.
Yeah, those. We put some ribbon around it. We just need some sort of topper. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if we'll add anything more to that, but
Do you guys have any ornaments together?
not together. Ornaments was never something that like I ever thought about getting.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll probably have some. She has a couple gifts that she like ornament gifts that she got from her students. So those are hung up right now. But
You should surprise her and just go buy. It doesn't need to be anything special, but it's something that has the year in it. The year you guys got your house together.
that's a good idea.
My parents always had that on their tree. It was like a house ornament, and it was like one from like their year together. And as a kid, I always actually really liked seeing the ornament because it reminds you of like your parents and them being together and all that. So while you're in this year, you might as well do it.
That's a really good idea.
Also,
Thank you.
speaking as someone who didn't do it last year when my fiance and I moved into our house for the first time, but we've been living together for many years before that in the apartment, so I guess it wasn't totally the same, but
Yeah, but I mean, like you still have your firsts in some aspect.
yeah.
Right,
Actually, I think our
Christmas,
first year together in the apartment, we do actually have our ornament for that, so that works.
Nice. What is it? If you don't
I
mind
think
me asking.
Ooh, I think that one honestly is like it might be like what's the character from Frozen, the snowman guy?
Olaf?
Yeah, I think it might be Olaf with a year below it. Like it wasn't actually like a special one, but we did. Do you remember when we had when we had international people living with us in our apartment?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When we had them come and live with us, that year we got an engraved one for the 4 of us with all of our names on it. But we also got a separate one that was an engraved one for just my fiance and I.
Okay.
So
cool.
that's nice, dude. That's 2016. But yeah,
Nice.
So that's also a nice, memorable one. But I always like
Yeah.
those ones. But I also have nostalgia of those from when I was a kid and seeing my parents. So I don't know, up to you. But I just you should totally do that.
No,
I think,
that's a really good idea. I like it. Like I think I'd try. Because my mom always had so many things that she collected over time that whenever I look at the tree, I'm like, oh, this is too much, and like I prefer a little bit more like minimal, not minimal, but just less. Like less is more kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so whenever I thought about getting ornaments, I thought like, oh, I don't want to like throw too much stuff on it, but I like the idea of like finding things here and there that have more meaning as opposed to just like filling it with just whatever. So I really like that idea. I'm gonna look around tomorrow for sure. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Influence.
Yes, we are influencers. That's how it works.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about Marvel or Disney on our Christmas episode. So
yes,
I think it's time, Anth0z, that we bite the bullet and we move into ye old news.
Ye old news.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the crazy new things that Marvel and Disney have been throwing at us lately.
Yeah.
Including, first and foremost, because it's timely and this is a good segue, the Guardians of the Galaxy is getting a holiday special.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I see that. Yeah. Right.
So it looks like I think it's going to go straight to Disney Plus, which is the new way of saying straight to TV. But it's going to be a holiday special of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I actually think is kind of funny. I've always thought that they should just do an official holiday special of a Marvel thing. So it was funny to see that they're just steering right into the skid and doing it. And I think Guardians is probably a good place to do it.
I think. Okay, they're probably going to do. I feel like stereotypical kind of stuff. So like. Rocket, he's going to be dressed up as like an elf or something because he's the short one.
Oh yeah,
Groot is probably going to be a tree.
Oh yeah,
then...
put the Christmas balls on him. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm a sucker for all that stuff, so I will probably watch this year after year, unless it's really bad. It definitely could be bad.
It's possible, yeah. I'm definitely a sucker for that kind of stuff too, like things that almost seem like they're so appropriate that they should be happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Groot being a tree. And then
I guess Star-Lord will be like dressed as Santa at some moment.
Yeah, and then I guess Drax would be an elf or Santa's helper. I don't really know.
Who knows? They'll do something funny.
They'll figure it out. But yeah, I'd probably try it out. I'd watch that.
There's gonna be some kind of villain, and then they're gonna have to go and save not the galaxy, but like save like a planet and then celebrate Christmas or something. Like there'll be some stupid plot, but it'll be good.
Yeah. Also, okay, so I'm basically using Marvel Studios Instagram.
Oh, I know, yeah.
As my news kind of like docket.
I'm just gonna put YouTube on in the background, and that'll remind me of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, just run through everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I mean, yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that had just been announced, but the holiday special, it says like coming, 2022. Did you mention that?
Oh yeah, 2022. Yeah.
I like how they announced that like 2 years in advance, a Christmas special.
I know.
It's not just any movie, but like holiday special. Keep your eyes out for this one, 2 Christmases from now.
Yeah, in fact, I think they did say, I could be wrong here, but I thought they said it was going to be either holiday special the year before Guardians 3 or Guardians 3 the year before the holiday special.
Oh.
So they're like a year apart from each other, I think.
Okay. I'm hoping Guardians of...
I think Guardians 3 is before, but I could be wrong.
Well, I guess it's not... I mean, unless they've already... Because I don't know how much production has had to stop with Marvel's Studios, but like if they haven't been able to continue, then I feel like having a 2021 date actually would be kind of difficult, right?
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, who knows?
All right, well, there's a lot more Marvel news to cover. Why don't we move into something smaller? Let's go into Miss Marvel. Did you watch the teaser trailer for that?
I did. I watched the one that says sizzle on it. The one where is it the one where they're showing?
They kind of go into production notes a little bit.
Like they're
the
kind
team
of
behind it and all that stuff.
Behind the scenes, exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and then
it's hard to tell really too much about it right now because they're just kind of doing one of those behind the scenes trailers instead of showing you the actual plot in the trailer.
Yeah, right.
I also know nothing about this superhero, so I don't really know what to think of this. But could be good. It could be good. I don't know. That's about where I'm at with that. And
it seems like this movie is going in a completely different, or they're trying to go in a completely different direction. Because I think they were saying, like with some of the behind the scenes stuff, that they're trying to go more towards like a family aspect, as opposed to just being like you know how like the superheroes that we've seen up until now for the MCU, like they're drawn into whatever action is happening like around the city or whatever, right? And maybe that's what they're trying to differentiate for whatever reason. I wonder if maybe they're doing that because they want to, like, obviously this is a younger character. Maybe they want to draw in some more younger people that can then become the ones who follow along with the next set of MCU movies, potentially.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Original series.
We got another trailer here for Wandavision, a secondary trailer for Wandavision.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I did. Okay, so I actually just watched this earlier today. So I watched like snippets of everything when it came out that day because like my whole feed was it. I'm like, I can't keep up what's happening. And so I just watched like little bits and then so I watched it today. And yeah, so it looks completely different from what I thought it was going to be. I think based on the previous trailers. So this one kind of seems more like they're not there because they want to be there. But I originally did think that it had something to do with Wanda, I guess like her powers and putting them in there. But I didn't like this seems like it's more of an external source that is affecting her for them to be in this situation. Is that are you getting that as well?
Yeah, I get that vibe as well. I did watch one of those breakdown videos from Emergency Awesome, I think, on YouTube. I don't really like watching their channel too much because it gets a little bit too much. But
okay,
he did talk about how there's a character in there. It seems like her neighbor in the house they're living in.
Yeah,
and in all the different like the 50s version or the 70s version of Wanda and Vision living together, their neighbor is always the same, and she's always got this necklace around her neck, and it seems very much like she's a witch, and so it seems like she's bewitching Wanda. And Wanda keeps thinking she's stuck in these family things until eventually she's breaking out of them, which is crazy. And I actually think it's really cool because it has this motif of horror, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but the idea of like time almost freezing and it like juddering in and out and getting really like freaky. And I love that. And if they can play that up where it gets like borderline actually scary, I would really like to watch that. So,
I think I'd be into that too, especially if they're going with like a witch motif.
Yeah.
Then like rather than having a more of a just like whimsical kind of like funny magical kind of show, if it's more bent on like a creepy reality because this witch is kind of just like a creepy kind of person, I think I would definitely enjoy that kind of more. We also saw a little snippet of Kat Dennings' character. I forgot what her name is, but one of Jane Foster's friends, crew from Thor. So I think it was just like a really, really quick snippet.
I noticed she was in there. I didn't know why she was there, but it was like, okay, cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So I think she actually mentioned, like Kat Dennings mentioned a while back that she had a role in the show. I don't know like to what extent, but it seems like all of the shows actually, if you look into it, they have characters from other stuff going on.
That's really cool. They have the time to be able to bridge all this stuff and make it seem like a giant MCU universe. So I just like that they're putting more thought into that, and even though they're doing shows, they're still trying to build that same kind of camaraderie they did with all the films. Yeah. So this does really seem like a whole new phase altogether that's being done in TV instead of being done in film. And I think it's really cool.
And I'm really curious to know like what they do in these shows, like how much of it is really going to connect in for the MCU. Right. Like when they hit big screens. So for example, if it is this whole witch thing, is she just going to be contained to this series, or then would she actually have some sort of part, or like whether small or big, on the big screen? So
I think it's all determined by how much people are watching. If people really watch these shows like they were with Mandalorian, then I think it's totally effective that they could put them into the movies and they'd be fine with it. But if there's not as many people watching, like a decent amount, but not enough to really change the culture, like with Daredevil or Jessica Jones, then they probably won't do much with it.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how they're going to be releasing the episodes. Like if it's going to be kind of like Mandalorian style where it's weekly, or it's going to be all thrown out like available.
It'll probably be weekly. They're going to want people to have long subscriptions, so most likely weekly for all their stuff. If it works with Mandalorian, they're going to want that from Marvel as well. Yeah, and it definitely works for Mandalorian. So
it totally does. Yeah, every Friday I'm aching to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not normally like that with any of these streaming services, but I am like that right now with Mandalorian. So I wish I wasn't. I wish I waited long enough to just watch them all at once. But I did that for the first 4 episodes, and then now I'm week by week by week. And so that's slower.
And it's also dangerous trying to avoid the spoilers too.
That's true. That's a good point. So there's another trailer here for something. Let's get to something real exciting. We got the new Loki trailer, which really got into the plot and the meat of the bones of the actual production here. It's interesting because Loki's going to be the character from technically after the Avengers. So this is
he's like
Loki.
He's like the second branch timeline Loki.
Yeah, so this is a Loki before the death of his mom, which is really weird. So he's not going to be all that emotionally charged, the Loki we know. So you think about that, because he comes back to Asgard after the Avengers thing, and he's imprisoned in there, and then his mom dies, and that's what changes Loki more, right? But this is before that, so I don't know if they're going to how they're going to deal with that, but I'm really intrigued by that. But, I mean, Tom Hiddleston with a whole show, like, I was telling my fiance, like, this is really exciting because Loki is one of the more interesting characters in the Thor universe. And with an entire show with him in it, there's just so many interesting things that could happen there. Now, it might be too much Loki, and if it is, then the show won't be very good. But it also might just be perfect, and you got this great main character who's always interesting on screen. So...
Yeah, it doesn't seem like... Okay, if the trailer is any semblance of what the whole series is going to be like, it doesn't seem like it would be too much Loki. It seems like they're balancing it out with some other characters. So, for example, Owen Wilson, I don't know...
Owen Wilson looked hilarious in that. I'm so excited he's in that show.
I don't know what character he's playing, but then, later on we see some of the... Like, he's got this kind of team that he works with, I guess, and there's some other individuals that he meets up with. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. I like how what is it, towards the end he's got his kind of like his mini horn helmet. Oh yeah. Instead of his like giant horns, he's got these like mini ones. The more appropriate size horn helmet. And then he's standing with almost his version of the Howling Commandos, I guess.
Yeah.
Seems like anyway.
I also like that he mentions Thor and Heimdall. And it's so I didn't really think about it too much, but cameos from Thor and Heimdall in this would be amazing. I don't know if we'll get a Chris Hemsworth cameo, but if we do, awesome. And if we get a, what's his name? Guy who plays Heimdall, I can't remember his name. Yeah, Idris Elba.
Oh, Idris Elba, yeah.
Yeah, but if we get a cameo from him, like, that's awesome. It's just going to bolster the whole feeling of camaraderie, like I said, in these shows even more if we throw these characters into it, so.
And I wonder, like, which version of Thor and Heimdall are we going to get?
Good point. Yeah, is it a parallel version, or are we, like, where are we with this, right? So, it would be kind of funny if at one point in Endgame, after Loki gets killed, if we end up having, like, this Loki, like, almost transport to that moment, like, almost immediately after, and he's, like, still alive.
He watches it happen, and then runs away again or something. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible with Loki, and I guess, like, if he's got the... Like, he should still have the... Oh, no, but I guess after he gets transported, he's not holding the Tesseract anymore.
I thought he was. I thought he stole the Tesseract and took it with him.
Yeah, but then when he wakes up on that beach, or like in the sand, he's not holding anything in the sand. That's true. I don't know if he has it. And then also shortly after he's taken captive by like Owen Wilson, he's in like prison, or he's in it seems like he's in handcuffs or something.
Right.
So I feel like they would have no outfit. So I guess he's without it. So we'll have to see exactly what happens with that, and if he gets his hand on it again, because that must mean the Tesseract exists wherever he is, probably, and then that means there's a chance for him to be able to use that to get to other places, right?
Right.
Yeah, potentially.
So then another kind of trailer we got was the What If trailer from Marvel.
Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry, the end of the Loki trailer when he jumps out of the plane.
And then he gets hit by the frost.
By the Bifrost, yeah.
Bifrost, thank you.
So that's kind of cool. Like, who must be Heimdall, I guess, right?
Yeah. But that was really cool. I like that. Yeah, the What If trailer is kind of interesting. So an animated show, I guess, about like what if storylines, probably one-off storylines, I guess.
Yeah.
Seems kind of interesting. I don't know how much I'm going to be watching. But I like the idea of maybe our favorite actors returning if they want to in like random little one-off shorts. So that could be interesting. We'll see. I'm not too sure. But it definitely has potential. I'm not too big of a fan of animated stuff though like that, so I don't know if I'll be watching it, but it could be fun.
Yeah, I mean the animation itself like looks like it's done pretty well. It looks nice, and I think the What If, it's also like these storylines I think are also based on comics as well. So I'm curious to know, like, because I know that Marvel has done, like, we see towards the end, there's, or not towards the end, maybe like halfway through, there's like that zombie Captain America,
Oh,
And I
right,
think,
yeah,
like,
yeah. So they're doing the Marvel zombie stuff, yeah.
So like that's a thing, and then what else is there? There's like Doctor Strange facing like a different version of himself.
Oh yeah, the evil Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Stranger Doctor Strange. I'm really interested to know what happens with the Yondu story. Like he meets this
I
little
forgot about that. Yeah, it
kid.
showed Yondu, yeah.
And I'm not sure like who that kid is.
Oh, it almost looked like he was getting the kid from Wakanda, the Chadwick Boseman character. It almost looked like he was taking Black Panther with him instead. Although I could be wrong, but I thought that's what they were getting at.
Oh, yeah, that is possible. I mean, later on we see Black Panther, like as like the older version.
I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong, but the way I took that is like he was taking Black Panther with him instead of taking Star-Lord.
It's like, okay, gotcha. Because I was thinking he was taking some other kid that we just didn't really know
He might
about.
have been. I just when I saw that, I thought it was Black Panther because I saw
think Black
Chadwick.
Panther makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was something. There was also that was a thing that happened. Then there was also Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer. So that was another big trailer that went into the actual plot of it a little bit more. I don't know how I feel about this one because I think I was the most excited for this one, and I came out of it maybe more excited for the Loki one. I think I just don't know enough yet. But from watching the trailer, I didn't really like Bucky looks way different because he got his hair cut all short. Like he looks like he's trying to be Steve Rogers.
Right.
And it's kind of strange to me, to be honest. Like I know I really want Bucky to be the new Captain America.
Yeah.
But it's strange seeing him be like buzz-cutted Captain America. Like I wanted to see the Winter Soldier, and I'm not really seeing it. And even his line delivery seemed a little strange in the trailer. So I'm gonna be very cautious going in, but I'm optimistic it's gonna be good.
Yeah, well, this show also, I guess it doesn't seem as far off as some of the other like so Loki and Wandavision, they look like complete. Well, Wandavision for sure looks like a completely different version of like any kind of TV show that we've seen specifically for like maybe like comic book adaptations.
Yeah.
And then I kind of feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier seems like the most kind of typical of a show that we would watch. Like, you know, nowadays there's a lot of cop shows.
Yeah, it's like a buddy cop show for sure.
Exactly, and then we still get that banter, the like back and forth, and what is it? He's talking about his like, I think. All right, he asked him like what's going on in that like robot brain of yours,
right?
And he's just like kind of just like badgering him for a little bit, and then
I
found
the lines a little
really
stale though. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
seemed a little stale to me.
Yeah, they're kind of this seems a little bit more bland from what we've seen so far. So,
but I'm really hoping it's good, and it definitely could be good. I feel like there's a lot they just don't want to show yet. So, but I'm definitely expecting more like the movie Winter Soldier or like Civil War style stuff to be happening. Not necessarily Civil War in the sense of all the characters fighting each other. I just mean like the Bucky moments in Winter Soldier and the Bucky moments in Civil War. That's more what I'm expecting in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I really hope we get a lot more of that kind of stuff. But it looked almost like they really like dulled him down a bit. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm missing the eagle screeching sound and like him with the long hair and the ski mask thing on. So
yeah,
I want to see more of that.
Also, this trailer makes it seem like more of a movie than a series.
It does seem like a movie, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like they're really good at doing their cinematography and marketing anyway. But I kind of feel like it threw me off a little bit because I was watching it thinking like, wait, isn't this supposed to be a series?
Well, they did make a promise with Disney Plus that every time they made some kind of like show like that they were going to be using the same production value they would for a movie. Now I don't know if that's actually true. To me, some of the CGI, especially in this Bucky and Falcon one, it does look a little bit less than you would see in the movies, but it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's just I feel like the movies throw more CGI at you because they can, and they're more sparing with it. Yeah, right. But I'm just watching the trailer right now, and it seems interesting for sure, but not. I don't know. It's missing something, and I don't know what it is. Yeah. But I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I'm going to go into it hoping that it's good, and if it is, awesome. I'm going to be very happy.
I'm looking forward to seeing how much of a role Zemo has.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing that he's back.
Mm-hmm. Because I really like Zemo. I know we've talked about it. We both think that he did a great job as his role. So yeah, I'm really curious to know like how, because like, you know, he has a pretty, I wouldn't say it's a pretty deep relationship with with Bucky, but I mean, like, he did try to use Bucky, right? So, like, knowing that he's in this, that I guess there's still possibility of, like, knowing that he's around, that somebody is there technically. Oh, no. Black Panther wiped out all the stuff from his brain, right? So he can't actually be brainwashed anymore, I think.
I don't think he can be brainwashed.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to Wakanda, right? But, so, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm interested, mainly with Zemo, but, yeah.
Now, I don't know if there was another trailer for actual stuff after this, but there was a lot of announcements after this.
Yeah, and so when I was thinking about announcements from my Instagram blowing up, it wasn't solely from Marvel, but kind of like Disney as a whole. We can just
finish off the Marvel announcements, then we can move into the other Disney stuff, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just going to list them off. The things that got announced then.
Go for
there
it.
Was the, what are they called? Ant-Man and the Wasp in the Quantumania.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be their third movie, I guess. There is a I Am Groot film.
Yeah.
I don't know much about. Then there's a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, like we covered. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Secret Invasion got announced.
Yeah.
As probably like the next kind of Civil War-esque kind of thing, or Infinity War kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel 2 got announced. Armor Wars got announced, which is, I believe, going to have Don Cheadle coming back to play the Iron Patriot.
Yeah.
And there's going to be sort of like a Tony Stark-ish kind of storyline going on there.
Yeah, that's right.
She-Hulk got announced.
Yep.
And they actually announced the actress, and I can't remember who it was. I don't think I knew her.
Tatiana Maslany?
What's she from?
I don't know either. I don't recognize the name Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, I don't know this person. Canadian actress.
Oh,
playing
cool.
multiple characters in the science fiction thriller series Orphan Black. Oh, there you go. That's a really popular show, but I've never seen it.
She's listed as in the Hunger Games for books? What? She's in a book? How does that work? She's in
the Hunger Games. Yeah, I don't recognize it. Oh, yeah, she was in the book.
as Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, interesting.
Wow, they've already got all the episodes listed on IMDb for her and She-Hulk. Like,
nice.
It's 2022. It's under the label announced, but they have all the episodes already on IMDb.
Right. Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
Just to get that hype going.
Anyway, so we've also got Moon Knight, the TV show.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, we have Ironheart. So that's just a lot of their crazy announcements, and obviously we'll get way more into those when probably next year we get trailers for all of those.
Yeah. So if you actually look on, so I'm using their Instagram as my guide.
Oh right. Yeah.
Let's see what else, because there are a lot of things that they posted that aren't necessarily like new announcements, but let's see. So that same day, for some reason they said there's a post for Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner returns to stars Hawkeye, teaming up with the well-known Archer from Marvel Comics, Kate Bishop, played by the amazing Haley Steinfeld. So I think part of these announcements aren't strictly just to say like, oh, this is coming, but they're also to like update like who is going to be a part of what. So for example, one of the other posts, I don't know if this was mentioned before, but Thor: Love and Thunder says that Christian Bale will be joining the cast as Gore, the God Butcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that,
and then what else? There's
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's right. Shang-Chi. What does it say for Shang-Chi? Production has just wrapped. Oh, right. So that means, we're basically gonna be, we're getting ready to see it July 9th, 2021 in theaters. So we'll see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that there are other Disney Plus movies or whatever, they're gonna be on Disney Plus and in theaters released at the same time.
I think so.
Yeah. Fantastic Four, their announcement is John Watts will direct the new feature film for Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four.
Nice.
Yeah. And then there's this other one, Marvel Studios Legends, a new series that revisits some of the most iconic moments from the MCU. So I guess this is kind of just like a look back to see like all the big highlights that have happened through the MCU so far.
Oh, okay.
Seems like it. I don't know if that's a series? Yeah, I don't know how long that's going to be, but first 2 episodes start streaming January 8th, so that's actually coming pretty soon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But that's mainly it that I see.
Doctor Strange. I don't think we talked about Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness.
Yeah. Right.
And obviously Spider-Man as well, but we haven't really mentioned that. We've already talked about that one in a previous podcast, but yeah, and it didn't really have any announcements because it's not a Disney Plus movie, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff. That was like 20 20 to 30 titles that they just like announced. So
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, what did I read? Like, I thought I read somewhere like what a website said like 60 titles announced by Disney or something on that day.
Just
I don't
nuts.
know.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then I didn't strictly look at Disney related stuff. I know that there's some Pixar things that were announced. But Star Wars has a lot of things that they also announced that day too.
Yeah, I don't know the Pixar ones, but I'm willing to go into the Star Wars ones.
Well, okay, so where does it start off? So all these announcements were 5 days ago. Starts off. Oh, I think one of the first ones they showed 5 days ago was season 2 recap of The Mandalorian. We won't go into that. We can talk about that more when we do our next episode, which I think one of our next episodes will probably cover it because we'll be the second half.
I think our very next Marvel. No, sorry. Our next Scumbar podcast will be the Mandalorian recap of the whole season. So.
Yeah. And so one of the posts after that is Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic, a new original series set within the timeline of The Mandalorian. And that's going to be coming to Disney Plus as well.
I need to watch that then. I didn't realize that's what that is.
So yeah, I don't know what the Rangers of the New Republic will be, but I guess that's I wonder if it's going to be at all affiliated with what the Old Republic was supposed to be, like the Knights of the Old Republic and stuff.
Okay.
Which I also don't really know a lot about, if at all. But
I don't know much about the Knights of the Old Republic either, but I just know the game was really popular.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just comment on this now. I like how, because Star Wars, I find like there's a lot of lore that you can get into that it helps to really round out what is happening just overall in the whole universe, like the Star Wars universe, right? Like a lot of what we see happens maybe just with the Rebels and the Republic, and they always find time to portray other cultures or other planets or other beings that have some sort of impact or are being impacted by what's happening with the war. Mm-hmm. So I like that they're putting a bit more focus on filling out those gaps in the lore, because there is actually already a lot of information available in books and comics that are canon, just so we don't have a lot of visual aspects to it. But I'm just curious to know like how much of what they're doing is really that necessary. So for example, there's the one that is announced for, well, I think this might have been announced before, but this is an actual trailer for it, but the Cassian Andor series that's going to be coming out. So one of the characters from Rogue One, which like watching that movie, I never would have thought I'd want to follow like a storyline from him.
Yeah.
So, but apparently, yeah, that's going to be a series coming in 2022. So I guess there must have been enough backstory on him already, or some sort of like I don't know, already like fan following for him. That they wanted to make a series for that. So
right,
yeah,
I agree too. I mean, rewatching Rogue One, I actually found a new appreciation for it not that long ago when I rewatched it.
Okay,
I used to not like it at all, except for the very end. I thought the very end was fun, but I didn't really like the film, and I still hold a lot of reservations for the film. But I know that Cassian Andor, I don't really care about at all. I never did then. I still don't now. But you can make me care about him with a cool TV show. So
yeah, that's true.
Like The Mandalorian, I didn't care about Mando at all. I didn't want to get to know a new bounty hunter character at all. I remember saying I had a lot of reservations before watching that show. Mm-hmm. And getting into it now, they've completely made me flip 180. Like, I'm so sold on the character. And they made Jango Fett a cool character as well for me, so.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Boba?
Or Boba Fett, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I always get the two mixed up.
And then some other things were mentioned, and there is now going to be an Asoka series that is coming out.
That. Oof.
Yeah, starring Rosario Dawson, who had an appearance in one of the latest Mandalorian episodes. So for those who haven't paid attention, I really, really, really like Asoka. She's one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever, and it's all thanks to combination of Dave Filoni and Ashley Eckstein. So Dave Filoni being producer, writer, director for a lot of Star Wars episodes. I mean, he's done a lot of that stuff for Clone Wars and Rebels. He's had some parts in directing Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. And then Ashley Eckstein has always been the voice of pretty much all iterations of Ahsoka that you would see in Clone Wars and Rebels. And she has done a really good job portraying that character, both in and out of character actually. Like if you follow her on Instagram,
Right.
it's almost like she's an Asoka but in real life, which is really cool. So I'm super excited to watch what happens with this Asoka series, and from what I've seen so far, I have faith in Rosario Dawson to do a good job. Without saying too much, because I want to save a lot of that for
Me too.
our Mandalorian episode. But what else? There was another one for an announcement for Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
In the
or Anakin
Obi-Wan
Skywalker.
Kenobi series. Yeah, well, okay. The Instagram actually like states that Hayden Christensen returns as Darth Vader, but I mean, yeah, of course he's both. But
Vader.
by the time we see this, I guess it's possible that they could do some kind of time jumps in the show that, we'll be able to see maybe them as their younger selves and then also as their older selves.
I really hope it's for the Obi-Wan Kenobi film. I think it'll be really... I don't know if it's going to work canon-wise, but I think... the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I guess. But it would be amazing to see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor back together on screen again. And I don't know if it makes sense. And at this point, I kind of don't care anymore. Like, I don't care if it works in the Star Wars lore. There are certain things I want to see, and if they can do them, I'm so happy. But if Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker can have another battle, I'd be so happy. If Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul can have another battle on screen with the same actors, I'd be so happy. Like, I don't know if they can make these work, but I don't care. I want them to try.
Yeah, I agree. I would. I'd be really interested to see like how that would be now, especially with today's technology and today's. There's a lot of capabilities that I think have been improved since then.
And sorry, one last thing I've been really wanting for a long time. Clone Wars kind of did it, but I need it to actually happen for real. Is Qui-Gon Jinn needs to come back. I want Qui-Gon Jinn to come back. They tease you in the
Rise of Skywalker.
Revenge of the Jedi. They tease you. I guess they do tease in Rise of Skywalker as well. But in Revenge of the Jedi. No, Revenge of the Sith.
Return of the
Revenge
Jedi,
of the Sith. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith, Yoda then tells Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, "I'll get you to be able to talk to your old master again." And he's like, "Oh," and it like cuts away. They do this little like tease where it's like you'll be able to talk to Qui-Gon or Master Qui-Gon again, and he's like, "Oh," and he gets all excited, like he'll be able to see a Force ghost, the Master Qui-Gon. But it never ever happens. And all I wanted was, maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I remember when those movies came out in theaters, the prequel trilogy. I remember like wondering, when is Qui-Gon coming back? But no. Nope. Never.
Yeah. So that would be kind of cool. I don't think we've heard any news about that.
It could happen in the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just mention this now. I was gonna mention this on a news segment separately, but it's interesting hearing this news now because recently, or I guess a couple weeks back, the original actor for Darth Vader actually passed away, and that was David Prowse.
Oh yeah, David Prowse. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was 85. I didn't know he was a bodybuilder. That's cool.
Yeah, he was huge. He was very jacked.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what Hayden Christensen does, because I feel like he had a lot of flack for his portrayals, but at the same time, I think that that was more so after the prequel trilogy came out. But recently, I thought I've seen more things where he's he's totally into Star Wars and the whole lore, and like he really appreciates like being able to be a part of it, and he seems kind of like genuinely invested in Star Wars. So I'm I think if that's the case, I think it's really cool because with Mark Hamill, he's somebody who I think takes the character Luke Skywalker to heart, right? Like
for sure.
He
respects Star Wars like crazy.
Exactly. He doesn't just respect his character, but he respects just the whole culture, the whole universe of it. So it almost seems like Hayden Christensen, from what I've read or heard, could be embodying that same kind of mentality. And if that is the case, then it's cool to have somebody like that being able to be in the universe still. So yeah
I agree, and I'm excited for him to come back. I did make fun of him a lot in the original or the prequel trilogy, I mean, and there are a lot of moments that are hilarious moments because they're pretty dang bad. I'm not gonna just suddenly say the prequel movies are amazing movies, but they're definitely Star Wars and they're definitely nostalgic. So the fact that they're bringing him back, awesome. You know, if they could bring back the little kid who played Little Annie in some way, shape, or form too.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. But you know, I don't ever want these people to feel horrible, like they're horrible actors or anything like that. They're playing a lead in Star Wars, so you know, obviously for your own sake or mine, realize you got where you did, so that's great. But yeah, I'm excited to see him come back because I do like these characters. I'm nostalgic for them all. So
Yeah, me too.
with all that being said, Ewan McGregor was clearly the best actor in all the previous Avengers.
You are the chosen one.
Don't try it.
Yeah. What else is there? I think this is something that like not a lot of people would know about unless you watched all of this, at least the last season of the Clone Wars. But yeah, so they
trailer.
have well, yeah, so the Bad Batch that's coming out, and yeah, so I think when I first watched like the scenes with the Bad Batch or the episodes of the Bad Batch, I wasn't too into them because to me they just seemed like too far off from what I want to see from the show. But then eventually they kind of grew on me, and now I'm interested. I think it'll make more sense to see them in their own element rather than like bringing them into like having them in the Clone Wars episodes. They were just so different from everybody else, like so extreme. But you know, in their own show, they get to have it's their environment, so I think it'll make more sense to see them.
Right.
At least
I think it's actually going to be a lot like Mandalorian, but now in Clone Wars fashion. So I'm really excited to see it. I watched that trailer and I was like, whoa, this is just like more Clone Wars for me. So I was excited. And I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff that is about the lesser characters in Star Wars, much like how Mandalorian is a lot like the lesser characters in Star Wars too.
Right.
So I think it's going to be really good, and it's going to tell us a lot of things that we were shocked we wanted to know more about. And I think it's probably going to connect to Rogue One a lot, or the Han Solo prequel, the Solo film. I think we're going to see some stuff going into that time period with these.
So did you watch that trailer for Patty Jenkins? So from our upcoming Rogue Squadron director, Patty Jenkins.
No, I didn't.
It's a pretty interesting trailer. So it starts off, so Patty Jenkins.
Is that the rollerblading one?
Yeah, it's the rollerblading one.
Yeah, I saw like the first 2 seconds and went, "Oh, this isn't the trailer," and I backed out because I was like, "It's not going to tell me about the movie like the way a trailer would." So I didn't watch it.
Didn't want to watch it. Yeah. So it's it's interesting. Like, so she's talking about how I think her father was a pilot. And I think she had always wanted to put together some sort of story that really told like accurately what it's like to be a pilot or whatever, and then she never really had the chance until now. So she's putting all of that like passion into Rogue Squadron, it seems.
Oh, that's cool.
But,
I respect that. That's cool. I really hope she does well. I know the name. She made something really good. What was it? Did she do Wonder Woman?
I have no idea.
Pat Jenkins.
Oops.
I totally know the name. She directed something that was really good.
It looks like she's and she's doing upcoming Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, she did Wonder Woman. She directed Monster. Arrested Development. Nice. Yeah, no, I knew I liked her. I just couldn't remember why. That's really cool. There's apparently a Cleopatra film coming out too. Anyways, I like the Rogue Squadron game kind of stuff. All those Starfighter games. I'm all about camaraderie and like starships and stuff too. I really like that. So I probably will get into it. I'd be shocked if I don't. There's a bunch of Star Wars announcement stuff too that they kind of talked about. Again, just like the Marvel stuff, there's not really much known about them. They talked a little bit more about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but they talked about a show, a droid story. Is that what it is?
That sounds so familiar. Yeah,
there's going to be like a show. I don't know what droid they're basing it on, but there's apparently a new announcement for one of the Star Wars shows going to be a droid story. There was an announcement for a Lando show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's going to be a Lando show.
Whoa.
There's another one called Star Wars Visions, which I don't really know what that is.
An original series of animated short films celebrates the Star Wars galaxy through the lens of the world's best Japanese anime creators.
Oh, wow.
So I think that could be really cool. I know that like if you go on YouTube, you can see like search up like Star Wars anime, and like the visuals you see, they're so cool, right? Yeah.
Oh my god, I love those.
If that's what they are alluding to, then I'm really into it.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And then there was one called Star Wars The Acolyte.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what that is. So, yeah, a lot of things just kind of announced, but pretty interesting stuff. And I'm excited. This is making me excited about Star Wars again. Believe it or not, I'm pulled right back into the fray, and here I am wanting to know more about Star Wars. Like,
yeah, me too. It's nice that like we don't have to just rely on having like a set of 3 movies to come out at certain parts of our lives in order to get our fix, but we can now get it at other sources and in characters that are lesser known too, right?
Yeah, and hopefully in better fashions. Like I still don't really enjoy the sequel trilogy, and we'll eventually go through it when we go into a Star Wars marathon, I'm sure. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I hope it is better than I think, but just in the moment of seeing it, I just did not like them that much.
Yeah. So this is like slightly Star Wars related, but an original series from Lucasfilm, Willow, is going to be coming. So
whoa.
Yeah,
that's got what's his name, who is Ewok.
An Ewok? Wait, starring Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. Yeah, he was Ewok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it'll be. Oh, that's Warwick Davis.
Yeah, he played.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, who did he play in Star Wars? I can't remember. Everybody knows him as like Grip Hook from Harry Potter and whatnot. But it's Star Wars. Yeah. He was in the original Star Wars, and he played Wicket, the Ewok.
Is that the main?
Wicket's
Ewok?
The one that they like talk to a bunch and like
they hang out with and stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. With the pilot directed by John Chu. So that's coming to Disney Plus on 2022.
Cool.
On 2022.
Wow.
On the day 2022.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen Willow, but I've heard really good things about it. A lot of people seem to like it.
I think I watched it as a kid, but I don't really remember it. But yeah, I heard a lot of good things as well. So yeah, a lot of Star Wars. I mean, like overall, it's just a lot of Disney, as a whole.
For sure. I mean, I also heard there's like a Peter Pan and.
What?
Yeah, there's a Peter Pan one coming out. It's called Peter Pan and Wendy.
Whoa.
And there was a Pinocchio one that got announced with Tom Hanks as Geppetto, and like that there was like a clip of like what Pinocchio might look like, and it looked just like the cartoon, and I was like this is gonna be crazy. Like I don't really know how all this stuff is gonna do, but I hope for the best with all of it.
Okay.
Because like they're getting my hopes up on a lot of stuff here, and Disney Plus seems more and more like something I care about. So.
Yeah. Did you want to move into Pixar?
Sure. Yeah, if you got some Pixar stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah, again, I'm just kind of relying on what I see on Instagram.
Okay.
But let's see. I don't know if all of these... I mean, there's a lot of promo for Soul, which is the one where Jamie Foxx is... he's voicing this guy who's, I guess, like a music teacher.
Okay.
So a lot of promo for him. But, I mean, the main thing I wanted to mention, I can't remember if there's... I think there's a few things that have been announced recently, but yeah, main thing I wanted to mention was the upcoming Buzz Lightyear.
Oh.
Yeah, blasting into theaters June 17th, 2022. Lightyear is the definitive story of the original Buzz Lightyear, voiced by, guess who it's voiced by? Somebody who we've seen a lot in the MCU. Somebody who is a very... You got the first name right.
Oh, Chris... Oh, what? Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I guess I can see that. Okay, yeah.
So I guess in a way it's going to be like a younger Buzz Lightyear if toys could have ages, I guess.
I'm assuming it's going to go into like the Buzz Lightyear TV show territory. Like Emperor Zurg will probably be the bad guy, and like Buzz Lightyear with Star Command and all that.
There's a TV show, yeah.
I'm assuming. I don't actually know, but yeah. That would be my guess because that TV show is pretty cool, and also Zurg is a pretty cool guy. I don't know why as a kid I loved Zurg, even though he's barely in the movie. But
yeah,
in the video game, he's like the main villain. So.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the main thing I wanted to mention with Pixar. I remember, I'm sure there's like a bunch of other stuff, but I mean, I feel like there's so much happening, and like, how do you keep afloat with all of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I've definitely kind of fallen off the Pixar train over the years too. Like it used to be so big back in the day, but it's I don't know if it's dropped in quality or if there's just so much around us right now that it's very distracting. But Pixar doesn't hold as much weight as it used to for me.
I think you're right that it's distracting having a lot of other stuff going on, and I think we've talked about it before. How I think when it comes to movies, everything like things are very trendy, right? Like you'll have a couple years where like thrillers are in, a couple years where zombies are in. Right now we're kind of still. I mean, like the superhero phase, I think has lasted a lot longer than a lot of other phases.
Yeah, well, they keep changing up the formula, which is why it's working.
Exactly, right? And now they're adapting to different, like, going on to the streaming services. So they're going to be able to keep this going a little bit longer. And I think because of that, because they've taken up so much like mind space in people's heads, that it's that's what is on people's minds, as opposed to like, oh, what's Pixar doing next? Because like they're still wondering, okay, well, now we've seen this whole timeline of the MCU, like next like phase 4, 5, 6 until through 20. Now we want to see it actually happen, and that's what we're thinking about, right? Yeah. So I mean, it'd be nice if we could get some good Pixar stuff happening, because I always enjoyed watching Pixar stuff. They've done a good job putting together things where I can really connect with. But yeah, I guess we're just going to be enduring a lot. Enduring is probably not the best word, but we have a lot of Marvel movies to look forward to, and Star Wars stuff to look forward to.
A lot of content, yeah.
So I'm okay if Pixar doesn't have much going for it right now,
yeah, exactly.
Because I have a lot to look forward to already. So yeah,
we're fortunate in the time we live in as far as content. There's a lot of distractions out there if you want them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, and with that, I think that concludes our crazy amount of Disney news that we've got going on, and I think that concludes our Christmas episode for everybody for today. I hope that everybody has a good Christmas out there this year, and they don't think too much about the restrictions we have, and they think more about the things that we do have in front of us. Like there's not, even though there's restrictions, we all have rules set upon us this year that make it different. I think everybody should just still take in like what we do have, what we can celebrate, and how we can still make this Christmas just as big as all of our other Christmases in the years before. So I know that's what I'm going to try to do. It's going to be different for sure, but I'm going to try my hardest to make it still just as memorable, just as fun.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I know that we have, in terms of looking forward to things, obviously looking forward to the end of COVID, looking forward to vaccines, and just looking forward to getting out of what we're in now. But I think it's pretty timely, like for a recent Marvel movie marathon episode. I think it was... Oh, wait, was it that? I feel like somebody in that movie was talking about, like not real, or has to do with like noticing what you're seeing now. Oh no!
I was right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it in Guardians?
It's in Guardians too. Yeah, Star-Lord at the end. He was saying like that sometimes like the thing you're really looking for is right in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's during the funeral scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I think. What I'm trying to say is alluding to the fact that like while we're looking forward to a lot of things, there's a lot of good moments that we can have right now if we just take the time to notice it, take the time to put some effort into it.
For sure.
So
it's going to be really easy to know. Exactly. That's a good way of saying it. It's going to be really easy to notice all the bad things, but if you just take the time to notice all the good things you have, then I think that'll be all the difference for Christmas. Like that'll totally change your mindset for the day. So
yeah, when it comes down to it, I mean, at least for me, in order to have a good time, it's I think it doesn't always necessarily have to be based on external factors. Like if I just have a good attitude about it, then I'll probably end up being happier.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a really nice way to end the show. I like that.
Aw, great.
That's some life advice from Anth0z and Mattbrush.
What a wholesome Christmas episode we had.
Yeah, exactly. I learned something today. All right. Well, everybody, Merry Christmas. I hope the best for you and yours. And we will probably see you in the new year, I guess, actually.
Oh, wow.
The next time we do our Scumbar podcast will be in the new year. I think it'll be right on New Year's, actually. So,
will it be?
Yeah, it'll be right on New Year's.
So.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll see you in the new year in 2021, and we'll make it a better one.
Wow, we will see you. Yeah, we are going, just specifically us. Yeah. We're going to make a better one for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Don't take our advice. Don't just do it on your own. Don't be happy on your own. Wait for us to make you happy.
Exactly.
We will do
I hope we determine your happiness.
Yes. Good luck with that.
All right. Well, have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one. Merry Christmas. Goodbye.